Norway, Switzerland and Iceland stand apart. These prosperous European nations have chosen a different path, remaining outside the European Union. Each country has a unique relationship with the EU, shaped by history, economics, and a strong sense of national identity. Their decisions offer valuable insights into the complex dynamics of European integration. They remind us that sovereignty and independence remain powerful forces in the 21st century. Norway, twice rejecting EU membership in referendums, has forged a close relationship with the bloc through the European Economic Area, or EEA. This agreement grants Norway access to the EU's single market, a cornerstone of its economic success. However, this arrangement comes with obligations. Norway must adopt EU laws and regulations related to the single market, even without a vote in their formation. This dynamic fuels a persistent debate in Norway. Some argue that the country is effectively a rule-taker, subject to decisions made in Brussels without direct influence. Others emphasize the economic benefits and the preservation of Norwegian sovereignty in key areas like fisheries and agriculture. The Norwegian experience highlights the trade-offs inherent in navigating the complex relationship between national autonomy and European integration. Switzerland, a landlocked nation at the heart of Europe, has long cherished its neutrality and direct democracy. The Swiss model emphasizes decentralized governance and citizen participation. This approach has fostered a strong sense of national identity and a deep skepticism towards surrendering sovereignty to supranational institutions like the EU. While Switzerland engages with the EU through bilateral agreements covering trade and other areas, it remains outside the bloc's political structures. Swiss citizens have repeatedly voted against EU membership, prioritizing their unique political system and tradition of neutrality. The Swiss example demonstrates that national identity and deeply held political values can outweigh the perceived benefits of full EU membership. Iceland, an island nation in the North Atlantic, shares strong cultural and historical ties with other Nordic countries, many of which are EU members. However, Iceland has chosen to remain outside the bloc, primarily due to concerns over its fishing industry, a vital pillar of the Icelandic economy. EU fishing quotas, Iceland argues, would severely impact its fishing communities and national interests. Instead, Iceland participates in the European Free Trade Association, or FTA, and the Schengen area, allowing for free movement of people and goods. Iceland's approach demonstrates how economic considerations, particularly the protection of vital industries, can drive decisions about EU membership. The economic case for and against EU membership is complex for each country. Norway, Switzerland and Iceland benefit from close economic ties with the EU, enjoying access to the single market and engaging in robust trade relationships. However, they also maintain control over their own economic policies and regulations, allowing them to tailor their approaches to their specific circumstances. For example, Norway's oil wealth allows it to maintain a generous social welfare system, while Switzerland's specialized industries benefit from its independent currency and monetary policy. These countries demonstrate that economic success is achievable outside the EU framework, particularly for nations with strong economic fundamentals and strategic management. Section 6: Political Realities, Sovereignty and Public Opinion. Public opinion plays a crucial role in shaping the relationship between these countries and the EU. In all three countries, there is a strong sense of national identity and a desire to maintain sovereignty over key policy areas. Referendums have consistently shown that a majority of citizens in Norway, Switzerland and Iceland prefer to remain outside the EU. Political leaders in these countries are acutely aware of public sentiment and are reluctant to pursue closer integration with the EU without a clear mandate from their citizens. This dynamic highlights the importance of democratic processes and the need for political leaders to be responsive to the will of the people. Section 7: Challenges of non-membership, Navigating a Complex Relationship. Remaining outside the EU presents challenges. Norway, Switzerland and Iceland face the constant task of negotiating and adapting to EU regulations, even though they have no formal say in their development. This can create uncertainty for businesses and limit their influence on shaping European policies that directly affect them. Moreover, these countries cannot fully participate in EU decision-making processes, potentially putting them at a disadvantage in areas like trade negotiations or foreign policy initiatives. Despite these challenges, Norway, Switzerland and Iceland have demonstrated resilience and adaptability in managing their relationships with the EU. To Section 8. Benefits of independence, preserving national identity and interests. The decision to remain outside the EU allows these countries to safeguard their national interests and identities. Norway maintains control over its vast energy resources, Switzerland preserves its long-standing tradition of neutrality, and Iceland protects its vital fishing industry. These examples demonstrate the importance of autonomy in pursuing national priorities. Furthermore, these countries retain the flexibility to forge their own paths on issues like immigration, defense policy, and international relations. This freedom allows them to tailor their policies to their specific circumstances and national interests. Section 9 Conclusion: the enduring appeal of autonomy. Norway, Switzerland and Iceland demonstrate that full EU membership is not a prerequisite for economic prosperity or political stability. Their experiences offer valuable lessons for other countries grappling with the balance between integration and autonomy. By prioritizing their unique national identities, economic interests and democratic values, these countries have charted their own courses, proving that there are multiple paths to success in a globalized world. Their continued existence outside the EU reminds us that the European project remains a work in progress, a complex tapestry of interwoven interests and aspirations. Ultimately, the decision of whether to join or remain outside the EU is a sovereign one, reflecting the unique circumstances and aspirations of each nation.